Welcome to Nonprofit Stories, inspiring tales from Silicon Valley. We will explore the transformative work of nonprofit organizations and leaders who are changing our community by tackling some of the most pressing issues facing Silicon Valley. So without further ado, let's dive into this exciting conversation. Today, we welcome Sabor Oyi, co-founder of Sabor's Well of Silicon Valley. Their mission is to support African communities, encompassing drilling wells, building schools and medical facilities, providing scholarships, and conducting leadership programs to promote individual growth and well-being. Thank you to our sponsor, TradeMyHome.com, for their community commitment and for making this podcast possible. In the Maasai community of Kenya, over 70% lack access to clean water sources within 5 kilometers, leading to a high incidence of waterborne diseases. This health crisis results in a substantial number of early childhood deaths. Additionally, the daily burden of water collection, taking 3 to 4 hours, reduces girls' school attendance by 40% and causes significant economic losses, estimated at 20% of potential income. And now your host of Nonprofit Stories, D.D. Kiso.
Sabore, welcome to the program today.
Thank you very much for having me.
I understand you're a cultural ambassador for Kenya. And before we get too far in the program, I would like to start off by having you tell some of our listeners, if they haven't been to Kenya, some of the wonderful things that they may not realize that they're missing.
Thank you. First of all, thank you very much for having me. I'm really happy to be here and share what is the good things about Kenya. Kenya is a country that has a very deep culture and a very big in tourism. And as a cultural ambassador, I go around the world to market the culture, the food, and the wildlife in Kenya, and also the beaches. So being a cultural ambassador, it's my responsibility to be able to tell people to come to Kenya to see all this. Because first of all, around the Indian Ocean, Kenya is bordering the Indian Ocean, and we have one of the best beaches in the world where you can go and have fun, just relax, get a tan, and, enjoy the ocean with the food and everything and the Swahili culture that is around the coast. But when you come up in the country, we have national parks. We have Amboseli, which is close to Mombasa. We also have Tsavo West and Tsavo East. Those are very good national parks where you can see all the kind of animals that you want to see. But when you come up to where I live, around the Maasai Mara, is where you can be able to see the beautiful wildlife, which is also the crossing of the wildlife, or the wildebeest and the zebra migrating from Serengeti to Maasai Mara National Game Reserve and going back, crossing the Mara River, where the crocodile will stay there and wait for them also to feed. And there are thousands and thousands of them crossing from both sides of, Serengeti to Maasai Mara and going back. So it's really fascinating to be able to be there and witness that, and also get to know the tribe that lives around with the wild animals, the Maasai tribe that live with the wild animals, coexist with them, and also the rich culture of the Maasai, which is, because I believe when you go to Kenya, you can see the big five in the Maasai Mara. The big five consists of a rhino, a leopard, an elephant, a buffalo. So those are, I think, consisting of the big five, and you can see them all around the Maasai Mara. And also the Maasai people live with them, and they know how to coexist with them. So those are the most fascinating things that you can see. When you go to Maasai Mara, you see the big five and you haven't seen the Maasai. Your safari is not complete. You have to see the Maasai because they are called people call them like the big six, because you can see their culture, how they jump high, how they chant and everything. So those are the good things that you see when you come to Kenya.
That's wonderful. And what are the best months for us from Silicon Valley to go visit?
The best month for you to visit Kenya is between mid-June all the way to October, because that is when the active migration takes place. And again, it's not really hot for you around that time of the year. So it's very good to be there in June, July, and August is the right time for you to be able to be there, to see the crossing and see the whole country.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
You're welcome.
So what inspired you to found the well, Sabore's Well, back in 2010? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. I grew up in a family of where I was inspired by the women that I grew up with, because I'm a firstborn of 17 children in our family, and I'm a son in my family. And being a firstborn and a son was always a good thing for me to stay with my dad so that I can take care of the cows. I see how he's raising my brothers and sisters. In case something happened to him, I'm able to take over the family and, raise my brothers and sisters the way he was raising them. But I was very lucky that my grandmother was a very strong woman, that she spoke with my dad, and my dad let me go to school. I was able to go to school for 8 years in primary school and then 4 years in high school through a scholarship. And growing up inside the house, my mom walked to go to collect water. And she can walk up to 7 kilometers one way just to collect water. And like I said before, we as Maasai live with the wild animals. She can walk and find the elephants along the way and take a different direction. And the water that she carries like a 40-pound jerrycan on her back, and maybe put another one on top and bring it back to the village. And growing up, going to school was sometimes I could not able to wash my face or clean myself to go to school. If I'm lucky, it's rainy season, I will clean up myself along the way using the pothole water from the rain or using the morning dew to clean my face to go to school. And growing up, seeing all these women around my village, my grandmother, and my mom walking all those distance, I thought what was the best thing for me to do to empower these women and girls, because again, the girls will not get an opportunity to attend school, because when the mother is going to collect water, the girl is at home, taking care of their brothers and sisters. A number of my sisters, only one of my sisters have been to school. The rest of them have not been to school. So for them to be able to go and collect water was really hard. And I thought, what is the best thing to do? The best thing to do is to find a way to bring water close to the villages so that women can be able to collect water. So that is what really inspired me to start, think about the organization to be able to empower the women and to have water close to the village, and be able to take care of their children, be able to make beads that are basically like all of what I'm wearing is made by the women, and be able, to just do some work close to them, not rather than walking 7 kilometers, or even some walk up to 12 kilometers to go and collect water. So it was that one thing that really inspired me. So it's all around the women that I grew up with that inspired me.
So I'm guessing that's answering our next question. Is this having access to the clean water has transformed the women's lives in the Maasai community?
It has transformed in women's life in so many ways. First of all, they're not walking that far distance to collect water. They walk like 1 or 2 kilometers to go and collect water. Second of all, the women are now clean, because previously you can imagine walking for, about 5 kilometers, bring water home. You can decide, you can either decide to cook for your children or use the same water to clean your clothes, and then you don't have water for the following day. So it really empowered the women and transformed them to be clean, because when they come to collect water, they wash their clothes, they take a bath, and then they get clean, So it has transformed them. And also it has reduced the waterborne diseases. The water that they go out and collect in the river is not clean water. It's water that is, the wildlife drink, the cows go and drink there, and when the cows go and drink water, they don't drink like water they go inside the water. And once they drink water there, and they pee in the water, they do their business there, and somebody else down the stream is collecting the same water and take it back to the village. So you can imagine what are the contamination in that water. So when the kids or even older people drink the water, they get amoeba and they get typhoid. In some places where it's really worse, they get cholera, and that is really a big problem, kills people. So it really, really helped in avoiding people from getting all those waterborne diseases. And then again, it really, inspired or empower women to be able to create the opportunity for young girls to go to school, because women don't sit there and just wait. They have to do something with their children, take them to school instead of them staying at home when she's going to collect water. Water is now closed, so the girls can go to school and they can stay at home to do. So it has empowered women in so many ways, including even the wild animals and the domestic animals, because we have to put a trap. At night, giraffes can come and drink water, zebras can come and drink water, or even elephants can come and drink water, because we cannot build a well and then leave the place open and not have a place for wild animals to access water. They can knock it down, and so we build a trap for them to be able to drink water. Yeah, so it has empowered the whole community in so many different ways.
Tell me about the journey from fetching the water to caring for the children and the trades.
Yeah, it's a process, because they wake up in the morning. First thing what they do as women, because culturally the women are the ones that go and collect water, and they do a lot of work. Maasai women, I should say, they're very strong women. They collect water, they milk the cows, they build the houses, they take care of their children, they go and fetch the firewood. So they're very strong women. So for a woman to be able to wake up in the morning, the first thing that she do is wake up in the morning, milk a cow, and pray God. Because they pray milking the cow, pouring the meat to the west, and then to the east, and then first of all to the east where the sun is coming from, and then west, north, and south, praying for protection to protect her families, the animals, and everything. And they finish milking up their cows, they prepare something for their children to eat, and then the next thing is either go to the river or go fetch the firewood. So when they go to the river, they go as a group of women, because walking there is also something that brings them together and share, talk with their stories, the ladies' stories and everything that they talk about along the way going to collect the river. So they go as a group. And when they go as a group, they either take the donkeys or they walk by themselves, carrying the jerrycans, or, just both the donkeys and carrying, because mostly they can take the donkeys and also have a water on their back. So they just go out and, talk their stories and come together. They share a lot when they are together, but it also affect, the family dynamic, and because of the timing that it will take them to go out there, because they will spend half of the day out collecting water. When they come home, they'll have to go other stuff, taking care of their children if there is nobody. And some of the women will also even carry their children on their belly when they go out and collect water. So it's really kind of a thing that it's hard, and it's the way of life. And economically, it affects them because they don't get to go. And some of them make the beads and sell them as part of income to take care of themselves, although the men take care of themselves or of them. But, it's good to have another income. So it affects them on getting to prepare the beads. So they don't have that time to be able to do that. So that is the kind of social life that it affects them, and economically. But, it's not like people that go shopping every day. Shopping only happens once a week, on a Saturday, on a market day. They all go to the market, buy whatever they want to buy, sell whatever they want to sell, and things like that. And they don't, the rest of the week, they do their own thing. So that is how it kind of is in social life in the village.
A typical problem homeowners have when wanting to buy a new home is whether to sell first or buy first. Either way is risky. When ready to look for a new home, TradeMyHome.com, powered by Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, offers an upfront guaranteed cash offer on your current home. Are you moving in the next 3 to 6 months? Text PAIR to 408-740-7400 for a free and no obligation professional equity appraisal report, exclusively for Nonprofit Stories podcast viewers. For more information, visit trademyhome.com or call 408-740-7400. Remember, at trademyhome.com, your home is sold guaranteed or we'll buy it.
Early childhood diseases have completely changed because of Sabore's well. Can you tell us about this transformation?
Yeah, sure. The early diseases of, I'll say, water diseases, because we are more focused on water, it has changed. Because we rarely get like the waterborne diseases now. We find some because, for the kids, you cannot control them. They're out with the cows, they're being told not to drink this water. But when they're out, they're young kids. They go out at this, the age of this stick, and they will just still drink the water. But it has actually gone down. It's not the same as it used to be because of having clean water close to them. So it's really helped. And also, in case that there are people who decide to go and collect water somewhere else, we advise them to boil the water before they can drink it, because it's, boiling it will kill all the germs and everything, and it will be clean. So most of them are really taking that into consideration to be able to make sure that it is good for themselves. And people have realized that those diseases are not good, to affect the kids, because of, the kids don't grow healthy, and they don't have the correct, the hospital to go when the kids get sick all the time. So it's really helping them, giving them advices on how to be able to go through that and getting to drink clean water. So it's really changed the whole community, and not many of them are getting affected.
What impact has this clean water had on the education of girls in the community?
Yeah, that is part of my thing that I always like to talk about, because I have 5 sisters, and one of them have only attended school. The rest have not been to school. And it is because of, probably because my mom and my stepmom had to go and collect water, and also because of the cultural belief that girls are going to be, going to get married. So what really, the impact that has brought about, having the well, is that the girls are able to go to school because their moms don't work for long distance. And if I come back, because Sabore's well was a vision to build wells and free girls to go to school. And after that, we created some other projects within the water that people sometimes ask me, how is water related to education? But to me, I know how it is related, because they don't go to school. So it really impacted them, giving them the opportunity, not staying home to take care of their brothers and sisters. Now they can go to school. And it is because that the water is close to the villages that they have the opportunity to attend school. So that is the impact that it has created.
So what about the long-term impact of girls being educated?
The long-term impact is the people to see the importance of it. The people to believe that, because in our culture, they exchange girls for cows. Between 6 to 9 cows, you get a wife. So if a man have, let's say, for example, 10 girls, and give it to an average of 6 cows per girl, that is around 60 cows, and that is a rich Maasai. So if all these girls go to school and be able to get an education, they can do what the boys can do. And then again, for a man to have girls, you can ask more than what you want. You can say, I want 100 cows for my daughter because she's been to school. So the long term is for the parents and the community to see that the girls also need an education to be able to empower their families and to be able to empower themselves in future, and to be able to get leaders, doctors, and other people in the community. So we are working with the government, which is a compulsory thing for every child to attend school, which is really good. And that really helped us to be able to push for, the brighter future for this girl. And I believe there is sustainability of schools when the kids are, when the kids keep going to school, and the girls keep changing families. That really is the impact. And I think that is when the community see that, every person has to have an education, or every girl has to have an education.
Do you think some families are threatened by having girls go to school for the fear of the impact it could have on their cultural beliefs?
I don't believe that families get affected. I believe that the men, probably the older guys, like the age of my dad and maybe a little younger than him, might think that it is a threat, because they know that because selling a girl, giving out your daughter, you get cows, and that's it. So now the threat is that they think when they go to school, they will not be able to get them the cows as early as they wanted, because it happened that sometimes the girls are married off when they are at the age of 12 years, 13 years, at a very tender age in exchange of the cow. So that is the only threat that I think that those older men will think, I'm not getting these cows as early as possible as I wanted. So that is the only threat. Otherwise, it is really a fabulous thing. Now, people have just come to realize that education is more important. First of all, because of we as a tribe, we are nomad people. We move from one place to another. We used to not anymore. But because of stopping that, the land has become scarce. So the only thing that will give you, we are 17 of us and we have a piece of land that dads own. So if we come down to that land, we all divide that land into plots. And you see, maybe the other kids will come up and then there's no more land for them. So the only thing that can empower them is education. So everybody the young generation and people are saying that education is the power to be able to take them forward. And what I tell them sometimes, I say, you can hold a spear in your left hand and hold a pen in this world. That meaning that you can have your own culture, protect your culture, and also hold a pen that you can read a computer, you can work on a computer, can work on a cell phone, can do anything else, but you still value your culture, but you're also going forward to the 21st century as the world is going. So I think it is not a threat. Might be there's a little bit of threat with that, with the older people wanting to get cows as quick as possible. But I think the threat is just very, very, very minimal.
How has the partnership with Blue Planet Network propelled your mission?
Blue Planet Network was an organization that we met through my partner here, Therese. We met the organization through her sister. And the way it started, that Sabores Well was started actually in 2010. And I went to Castellar School, an all-girls school in Palo Alto. And it was a global week, and I was able to be on the platform of the global week talking about water and girls' education. And after my speech with a group of students, one of the students came to Therese and said that I have $15 scramble, like $5 each, all of them, and give it to her. And she said, how can I contribute? How can I help? And Therese received the $15, and that is how Sabores Well was founded. But when it was founded, we did not know where to take the money because we didn't have an organization that we are working with. Her sister happened to have a friend who runs an organization, Blue Planet Network. And running Blue Planet Network, we asked them if we can be on their platform as Blue members to be able to raise our funding, and they can keep the money for us for the next project, because they are more involved in water issues all around some countries in Africa and Asia. So we worked with them for the last, between 2010 up to 2014, 2015, and we were able to use 100% of what we raised to our project. And we drilled our first well in 2014. And then the organization Sabores Well was registered in 2015, 2016, around there as a 501c. So Blue Planet has really, really helped us propel to our next step. Drilling the 2 boreholes that we have, 2 wells that we have, was because of through Blue Planet Network holding up the money and funding 100% of what we raise to the project. So that is how we got to work with them. Really thank them for that.
What were your key strategies in fundraising for those first 2 wells?
Our key strategies for funding was from the beginning, like I said, going to speak in schools. So we have done and talk with a lot of people, going to school and speak in school. Schools, students doing a fundraising drive, individual donors. Before the first one was more like individual donors and schools around the Bay Area, going out and speak, parents donating to the organization, students doing like class tours, like they do something and then the parents pay for tours to bring what they have. Some of them even deciding to give out their money from the piggy, what they saved to bring to the organization. So those are the first strategies that we've been using to raise the money. So it's actually for the first 4-5 years, that is what we have done to raise the money to get to the point that we drilled the 2 wells.
So it sounds like you were willing to bootstrap and do grassroots work to bring community together to elevate this transformation.
Correct,
Right.
Correct. Because what we want to do is we want people who donate to feel that they are part of this and to feel that they are doing it the right way and they are doing the right thing to be able to empower another community away, thousands of miles away from them. So we want the people to have that feeling that they are part of it.
Thank you again for being here. I'm absolutely fascinated.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you very much.
Here's a sneak peek of the next episode of Nonprofit Stories, featuring Dan Orloff, the president-elect of the Campbell Chamber of Commerce.
Well, it's where I started my career in 1977 as a commercial real estate agent and a marketer of property.
They aim to elevate and transform the community by combining entrepreneurial spirit with a profound cultural and historical preservation commitment.
Where you had the small town feel, yet a vibrant cultural and business community. And,
Check out our next full episode on Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific and 8 o'clock Eastern on YouTube and Apple Podcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast and acknowledging the impactful work of nonprofits in Silicon Valley. Please subscribe and share this episode with a friend. Thank you to our sponsor, TradeMyHome.com, for their community commitment and for making this podcast possible. Until next time, remember to support local nonprofits.